Yeah.
So now tell me, as the years went on and this dynamic was going on in our relationship, and your career was growing and expanding as
Hmm.
well, at the same time, how do you think, or what suggestion can we give to couples about navigating our decision making when it comes to, this potential power struggle going
Right.
on in a relationship?
Yeah. Well, so in every relationship, whatever your dynamic is, um, there's you can make all the decisions together, but somebody has to make a final decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's even in the business world, right?
Some
If we
one
were
person.
hiring, we
Yes.
always made sure we had an odd number of people
Yes, it has to.
because somebody has to be the deciding factor.
Absolutely.
Even on councils, most
Yes.
councils have an odd number of council members. Somebody has to be the final decision. If they're split down the middle, somebody's got to be able to make the final decision.
Yes.
When you're in a couple, it's just the two of us.
It's just the two of us, but one of us has to make a final decision. And that decision maker is not relevant to who makes the most money.
Mm, that's a good point. Y'all
Yeah.
hear that?
Yeah. It's not relevant to who makes the most money. It is relevant to who has been selected to be the responsible party
For that
for
decision.
that
Yeah.
decision. Yes.
Because some decisions are, for example, if we're purchasing a home,
Hmm.
right? Because we've purchased a few homes since we've been married,
Hmm.
I would rely solely on you
Yeah.
going into that home to see if that home has good bones. This is a good risk,
Right.
because you don't want to step into a home and, it'd be a disaster,
Right.
right?
No.
And so, yeah, but then as it came to finances, then sometimes you would lean more
Oh,
towards me
absolutely.
for that type of
Yeah.
thing.
Again, we are a team
Hmm.
and we both bring
Different value.
different values to the team.
Hmm.
And if your expertise in one field is greater than mine, then damn it, what's the answer?
Right.
What's the best decision to make? And I enjoy that maneuvering with you, how we maneuver through different things, and depending on what the topic is, um, that governs how we make our decision and who makes the final
Yeah.
decision.
And I like what you said about, and who's willing to be responsible for the outcome.
Yes.
And here's the thing, guys, that we have to be really, really supportive of each other on. This is so important. If we're trying to make a decision, for example, of what home to buy, and you tell me, hun, this is not a good one, this is
Right.
not a good deal, and I may want this house because it looks all shiny and pretty on the outside, but you're telling me on the inside it ain't going to
Hmm.
work,
Right.
then if I'm saying, okay, you're the better decision maker in this particular decision, and we're going to listen to you, I'm not going to sit there and wait for something to evolve to prove that you were wrong.
Right.
I'm going to get behind your decision
Yeah.
and be supportive of your decision, because we create and manifest whatever it is we want to manifest.
Whatever
So,
you believe,
yes,
it will come to
if you
pass.
want to manifest being right, then you'll
Hmm.
manifest being right, but at what cost?
Yeah.
So rather, I'm going to be in support of your decision and go all in and say that this is the better decision for
Right.
us because this is what you've said, and you're willing to take responsibility as well for the
Yes.
outcome.
Yeah.
And
Being
then I'm a
being the decision maker is not all prestigious.
no, because it's a
No.
huge responsibility. When we decided to move our money and we had to pick a financial advisor,
Yeah.
and that was a huge decision.
Mhm.
But once, I shared with you, this is who I think we should move forward with, and we did the interview and you came in and you talked to them, you were totally on board, like
Yeah.
all in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't like you were undermining me or
Mm-mm.
trying to,
No.
yeah,
No.
yeah.
No. So, speaking of undermining, um, if if you allow, as a man, if you allow your perceived insecurities perceived
Mhm.
insecurities to fester, and you don't say anything, or you don't check yourself, or you don't gain understanding of where you are, then it starts to produce other things, animosity, um, harsh feelings,
Yeah.
competition, and competition to compete with someone. When I compete with someone, my intent is to smash them.
Mm.
And so I deliberately will refrain from ever competing with you,
Yes. Mm.
because it is my natural nature to pounce in the most hellacious way to defeat my opponent. And and I
That's not good.
I'm not going to step into that space with you.
No,
And
no,
so my wife is not my opponent. It's my
no.
teammate.
Yes,
It's my teammate. We're in
yes,
this together.
yes. And you have to have a certain mindset, right? To be
Yeah.
in that space. If not, like, what are the risks there that couples risk getting into when they don't balance that, where you're
Yeah.
on the same team versus opponents?
Well, division,
Yeah.
division, division, which another word of division is divorce.
Wow.
That's
Mm.
what it leads to.
Well,
So you better check your shit,
yes.
because that's what it leads to.
Yeah, yeah. So it's really important that you have a mindset of teamwork.
Yeah.
Yeah, which means being supportive of each other. And you know what? If any of you have ever played sports, okay, I played
Hmm.
basketball. We could have our star player just have a bad day and they just messing up. But
Yeah.
guess what? We are still cheering. Like, come on, girl, you got this. You
Hmm.
got this. We're still
Hmm.
cheering,
Yeah.
right? Because they're just having an off day. But they typically lead our team in
Right.
points and things like that. Well, it's the same in a
Yes, it
relationship.
is.
Sometimes we can be off. You know, there's times where you catch me
Hmm.
or I catch you because we're off.
Yeah.
But the main point is that we're still on the same team cheering each other on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's important.